Chronicles.
What's good, fam? I'd like to welcome y'all to Brown Boy Chronicles, experiencing stories of 3 first-gen brown boys and 1 foreigner/immigrant brown boy just out here growing up in the States. We'd like for you to join in our challenges, our come-ups, our glow-ups, our struggles, and just overall our lives. We hope y'all enjoy.
All right, guys, welcome to season 2, episode 4 of Brown Boy Chronicles. This is Deech.
This is Harvey.
This is Lucky.
This is KB.
Yo, so what you guys think about tattoos and piercings? How many do you guys have?
I got 1 tattoo right now. I kind of want more. I got a peacock on like my forearm right now.
Kind of sus.
How's that sus? It means something at least, you know. At least it's not like one of those tattoos that don't mean something. Me and my cousins, like, you know, the cousins that we grew up with or whatever, like their brothers and sisters, we all got the same tattoo because my like grandfather has a peacock tattoo already, like from when he was younger or whatever. He got it at like a midline in India or whatever. And like we all kind of wanted, like, you know, before he passed away or something, we all went with like our grandfather, and like our parents didn't say one word because our grandfather was like so happy to fucking get the tattoos with us. So all 5 of us have this like peacock on our right forearm.
What style is it?
It's like minimalist. His looks like almost like a chicken, I'm not gonna lie, on his forearm. So we ended up getting minimalist because I wanted to look nice at least.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, yo. My parents would never let me get a tattoo. They're like, yo, you're just trying to be a gangster. Like, this is not what we about. Anything like relating to tattoos, piercings, or just like body morphing, they're like, don't even come home. Just like block our number.
Seriously? They don't have any? I feel like my dad has a random ass tattoo on his thigh too. It's like a wheel. And I was
Wait, did
like,
your parents say anything when you got that peacock tattoo, or did they even know?
no, they knew. They knew we were going with our grandfather. He didn't give a like. It's my grandfather. They're not gonna tell him no, whatever. You know, it's fine if the eldest thinks it's fine.
I feel like you can push back at a certain age. Like when does like as an adult, like after your like grandparents, like kind of, I don't want to say he's senile, but I feel like there's like an age that after you cross, like where you can like kind of push back on their demands. Or like, nah, you're not doing this to our kids. Or is that not? I mean, I never really had any grandparents, so I wouldn't know. It's like, is that not with your guys, like the dynamics of grandparents?
It is. I feel like I don't think my parents cared about the tattoo, to be honest. So like they didn't really push back. If it's something like I feel like that would impact my kids that I didn't like, then I like in the future would probably say something, you know. But I don't know. I don't think they cared. My dad has a random wheel tattoo on his fucking thigh. It makes no fucking sense, but it's just a wheel.
He be rolling.
Yeah, it's kind of like surprising, like how many like old ass Indian heads like got like tattoos, but they're all like the religious ones, and they're all got like on their like hand, like on the, what's this part of the hand called? The fucking, not the palm, but the other side.
You're the doctor, man. What are you doing?
You're not a hand doctor, huh?
Facts.
Yo, so Rinku, you got any tattoos?
Yeah, I have 3 tattoos as of right now, and they're all on my left hand, or I guess my left upper extremity near my elbow.
Why are you saying it's so complicated, dude? Just say your left arm, bro. Why are you saying left extremity?
Yo, my mind, I cannot focus right now. My mind is somewhere else.
Oh, it's on the tibia. That's in the leg, right?
That's in your leg.
Wait, was that on purpose? Like, why did you left hand arm? Because you're lefty?
Yeah, because I'm lefty, so I just like went with that. So my first tattoo was Nirpo Nirvair, so I guess that was like a Punjabi thing. That stands for without fear, without hate.
I said Superwoman has that one, the Indian girl.
True. Yeah, I mean, I did something like a little bit different with it because I know a lot of people have that tattoo. In terms of like the Punjabi culture, like when you're reading like the religious books and whatnot, like how they end a sentence is with like 2 lines. So like 2 lines is essentially like a period, right? So what I did was like Nirpo, and then I put 2 lines in between it to like kind of like signify like a period. And then I put Nirvair after that. Every single tattoo I got was like on my birthday. So I kind of gave it as like as a birthday present to myself. And then, yeah, the year after I got one, and that was the coordinates. And then the last one was the More Life tattoo.
Like where are the coordinates for?
Yeah, what was the coordinates for?
The coordinates are like also like representative of like my Gurdwara back home. Just because I spent like a lot of time like growing up there as a child, and so like a lot of like meaningful memories and stuff. So I kind of felt like it kind of helped develop the person I have become like throughout life. So I just dedicated that.
Well, yeah, we were supposed to get the More Life tattoo together, you, me, and Jesse, right?
I mean, that was like the original idea, but first off, you was mad slow with getting a tattoo just to begin with. I mean, More Life album dropped, and then I think we all kind of like envisioned like getting this tattoo. Like, I mean, it had like a double entendre. Like it's like has like good meaning, right? It's not just like, oh, in a way, like, yeah, it's low key like a dedication to like Drake, but in a way it's like, that's also like, yo, like more life. Like there's always more to life. There's always more to look forward to.
Yo, how did you guys envision that? First of all, like, did you guys collectively, like, telepathically, like, thought of this like that? Like, how do you envision this as a group?
I think it was just some text.
I mean, we all chilling and like we were listening to the album and it just like came like in the spur of the moment. And like, yo, this is like, it's like more than just like, oh, this is like Drake. It's like an outside way of like representing Drake. But like, yeah, these guys move like way too slow. And I just went for it. Like my birthday came around. I was like, yo, Craven, like it's true. I mean, like once you get that first tat, like, I mean, everybody says you get addicted to that. You get addicted to like the needle, blah, blah. And you get addicted to like, just like getting more and more. But like, for some reason, it was just like always a time constraint thing for me. So I didn't like, I don't know, my birthday time, like is either you're coming back from like school vacation, there's no classes, no exams have like started yet. So it just always ended up being like an ideal opportunity.
I feel like your whole body's gonna end up looking like fucking Drake's tattoos, bro. They're fucking horrible everywhere.
No, his tattoos are like trash. My tattoos, like the placement's fire.
Dude, his tattoo placements are everywhere. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I don't like his tattoos at all. I think they're like, I don't know, like they're just like odd as fuck. Like, there's no rhythm to them. Like his music got rhythm, but his body art don't.
True. You said you get a tattoo every birthday, right? So, like, do you have for your next birthday? You have something in mind already, or?
Yeah, I mean, I've been had a tattoo for mine. Like, I'm definitely gonna get like a half sleeve. Like my whole upper arm, like I want it to be covered up. And like the next one's gonna be like pretty big. Like it's like music notes like wrapping around my whole like upper arm. Like, you know, like piano notes and like lines and shit. And then like notes of like a song that I like and like lyrics derived from that song extracted into like piano version and then that like put onto my body.
In your field of podiatry, like, does it matter if like you have like tattoos and shit, or you gotta hide all that?
I mean, I feel like in any professional setting, it matters if you have tattoos or not. Like, I feel like it's still kind of like looked down upon. Even like I have tattoos, and like even when I like see another person with tattoos, like, yo, like I respect it, but at the same time, I'm like kind of like questioning it, right? Like I still kind of question their like professionalism, I question their like intelligent level and all that stuff, because I feel like there's just all these like preconceived like misconceptions about it, and like that the culture that was associated with it in like prior times still kind of lives down underneath my head. But then at the same time, I'm like, damn, this person's like probably a little bit more open-minded. This person's probably a little more chill. This person's probably like a little bit more easier to talk to. Like I have an attending that like literally has a full sleeve, and it's like the colorful ones, not two. It's not like just like black and white ink. It's like full sleeve. But like every time he goes to like see a patient, he like wears a big lab coat. So like nobody ever really sees it. Like I didn't even see it until like one day, like we were leaving around the same time and he took off his coat and I see him getting in his car. And then I just see his whole arm just like decked out. But then like when you go into the OR with them, because I was still like younger at that time, so I wasn't going into the OR. But now later as I go to the OR, like you have to like be scrubbed and stuff. So now everybody in the OR kind of like sees his tattoos and sees his sleeves. And I don't know what they like think of them, but
you judge people's tattoos like they're professionalism. I feel like I don't judge people's, like, unless it's something really fucking stupid. Like, you know, the Jake Paul has that fucking AK-47 on his fucking thigh or some bullshit. Like, I don't
be following other people's guys' tattoos like that, except.
What do you mean? He's boxing. You can see it. What? But
where are you looking at, bro?
I'm not looking like that close.
I'm looking at the punches where they're landing. You're checking out his body.
Okay, calm the fuck down. But I'm just saying, like, I don't know. I feel like if I see someone's tattoos, I don't judge them or like think they're unprofessional.
No, I think what he's talking about is like full sleeves and where you have like colorful tattoos. I feel like that's just like what he's generalizing, and I'm gonna double down on the generalizing. Like when people have those like colorful tattoos, they're always like very like open, and I feel like they're very sociable. That's just like a trend I've always seen with like people that are just like have sleeves or like piercings or like, you know, love that punk shit. They're always just like super fucking friendly, and you'd think they would be like more like, you know, reserved or like taken back. Because when I think of tattoos, I just think like it's just like rebelling against the norm, and like, you know, it's not like the norm is not to like, when we're talking about professional settings, you know, you're not supposed to show like that type of shit. So when I think of someone rebelling, I feel like they're not really trying to socialize, but it's like kind of weird because they're very good at socializing those types of people.
I feel like it's kind of like low key just playing like a mind fuck, because like you have these like preconceptions of like, yo, how this person, how you think this person can act, like has that rebellious culture. And like, that's kind of where like these like people getting tattoos kind of originated from. So yeah, like I totally agree with that. So it's like your mind's like playing games with you because you think this person's gonna act in this one way or like would be this type of personality, but then they end up being like totally professional, like full on, like, you know what I mean? Knows all this shit. Like, and it's like, it's literally just art on their body and like what they like think of it. And like, there's nothing like wrong with it at all. These are just like mind shifts that we all need to like slowly adjust to.
I wonder where that came from because I don't remember, like most of my early childhood was in India. So over here, I don't know if it's like the media that made me think tattoos.
I think a lot of like, I think the first people that probably started getting a lot of tattoos was probably like bike gangs. No, like obviously I don't know my history, but like,
I mean, not even that, like the Samoans too, like it's in Samoans culture. I think it depends culture to culture.
Bro, I'm in
but like how many Samoans are you seeing out here in the States?
Dwayne The Rock Johnson, dude. Hawaii, man.
Bro, he like just became popular. Like, I mean, yeah, he was a wrestler and shit, but like, I mean, that's like, I think in terms of like large populations, I feel like it was like bike culture that really had like, they were just tatted up and they're like these like, like not even like thugs, but like, yeah, scary dudes that you don't want to mess with, bar fights, like, you know what I mean? Drive around country.
Yakuza in Japan and shit too, like they're fucking gang members and shit. Like they're like the mafia in Japan. So it's like all this like negative connotations and shit.
Is it because of the media, right? Then like, is that what I'm thinking? Like it's just like kind of symbolism.
Yeah, I mean, you probably just make these associations like, yeah, oh, like, yo, this gang fight broke up. It comes up onto like TV and then like you see all these people and they're all like tatted up. So you make this like poor misconception or like this association that really shouldn't exist. And definitely I think we're like straying away from that. So like as like a working professional, I think you should like flaunt your like tattoos now because I feel like we need to like change this association that you have that a lot of society has in terms of tattoos.
The other thing is like permanence too, like having something permanent on your body that's going to be there forever too. It's definitely frowned upon, especially if it's something like stupid.
Why would that be frowned upon?
I don't know. You're putting something on your body that is not supposed to be there. At least that's the way I thought about it for the longest time. I mean, like, what about the people that are like all getting like fake asses and stuff? That's just gonna be on their body like for the rest of life too.
I mean,
that's
I think
like cured on.
Well, that's a bigger jump.
No, I think what KB is trying to say is, you know, you're like always constantly evolving. Like you're not the same person last year. So like when you have something permanent about it, I mean, some people are content with their decision, but I don't agree with what KB said. But I think that's like his view on it. It's just like, how can you know for sure you want something permanent for life at that like young of an age, like at 18, 19, when you get that type of shit?
Dude, I mean, even now, I'm pretty. I mean, I got my earrings, but like, I'm not really all about tattoos or anything, which is surprising because like the stereotype.
Yeah, that's actually like really interesting. People. Yeah, because you're like, you draw stuff, you make art. Like, do you not ever like want like to represent some of your art like on your body?
No, because I think that if I was to design something, I would look back a couple years from now and be like, that looked like absolute shit. I'm not gonna wear it on my chest for, you know, the next like.
He's just like, my body is my art.
Yeah, for sure.
He's evolving.
But I think that's what KB was trying to tie into, right? Where like, you know, you can look back and think like, oh, I should have like done this in particular, like.
Right? Not even that. I'm just saying like how we like when growing up, how we thought about it and stuff like that. Like our parents kind of instilled that, you know, tattoos are permanent and shit. Like at least getting piercings, whatever, it's not permanent. You know, your holes will close and shit like that. Like that's what I was trying to get at.
It's kind of messed up, but I think like especially the brown people in my community, they definitely like associate tattoos and piercings with like sexuality. So like that was like their big push growing up, especially. I mean, even now, like they're like, oh, I don't know how it was for you guys when you got your earrings and shit, but I definitely got.
What do you mean sexuality?
I've been asking for earrings since I was like 7th grade, maybe. My parents and family, they were like, if you get your earrings, it'll turn you gay. And I was like, what is this association? But also like, it shouldn't matter in general. Like but that's the culture. And also like, it's part of the stigma too, which is like messed up, but it's like mad ignorant on like brown people are mad ignorant about all this shit. Like, you know, like they make blanket statements and generalizations about, you know, like you do this and this defines you. So honestly,
my dad was like mad sus about that too when I got mine, and like I pulled up and he's like, yo, why'd you get both? Like girls do that. Or like, like he just started laughing. He's like, if you're a guy, you're only supposed to get like one pierced. I was like, nah, that's like not how it is anymore. Like, I don't know where they get these like ideas from either. But yo, it's interesting, Deech, because like, yo, there's like some South Indian culture where like getting your ears pierced is like part of the culture. Like it's part of the tradition. What is that? You know about that?
Yeah, I do know about that. So every culture has like, you know, like the boy becomes a man, like I don't know what it is in Punjabi culture, but for like South Indian culture, it's like your thread ceremony. So in that, like they do a bunch of rituals. It's like usually around when you're like 10 to 14 years old. Sometimes like if you wait, it'll be on your wedding. I had mine when I was in 4th grade, but they shave your head bald with like, in my specific like family, they do 5 patches of hair. So you basically look like a Dalmatian walking around, but they pierce your ears. But my dad didn't let me get my ears pierced. Or like
also, technically, like you were supposed to.
I was supposed to. Or like my grandma or my dad, one of them said like, no, he doesn't have to do that. So I couldn't get it. But then when I found out about it later, I was like using it as a bargaining chip. Like when I was like, like later high school, I'm like, hey, like this was supposed to happen anyway. But I mean, my brother didn't get his either. Most of my cousins didn't get their ears pierced, except when I think I was a junior in college. So I was like 21 or 2021. I go to this like family event. And this kid, he had just gotten his like coming of age ceremony, and he has earrings. I'm sitting here like using the 13-year-old boy as like a bargaining chip for my dad. I'm like, hey, look, like, come on. I'm a grown ass man. Like, I got to be able to get my ears pierced. This is bullshit. Like, this kid's like 12, 13 years old.
So your dad's like super religious and stuff, right? And it's part of your religion.
No, like he wouldn't be super religious. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Why? Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Why
frankly, I don't understand. I don't know, but I mean, most of my like friends, like he's
like just picking and choosing like what he wants to be religious about.
I think I don't even know if it's like required though. Like it's the thing, like it's just like some cultures, like some families, like they make you do it. Some of them, they're like, it's not needed, which doesn't make any sense. Like they don't really give the kid any choice in the matter.
So some shit is permissible while there's like actually like required.
Yeah, the requirements are like, I mean, even like the shaving your head with like patches or whatever. Like I'm Telugu, so. Like, that's why, like, I have the 5 patches, but, like, I have friends who are Tamil, and they had just, like, 1 patch of hair with, like, a little tail at the end. But also,
no disrespect, that shit always looks mad funny to me, yo.
I fucking know, man. The pictures are great because I'm crying the whole time. This guy, like, sliced my eye with, like, my eyelid with, like, the straight blade. Like, I just remember being completely uncomfortable through the entire process. And anyway, some of my cousins, who they got theirs done in America. And in America, they're not going to let you go around with like, like patches of hair, so they literally just got 5 snippets of hair cut off and no earrings, none of that stuff. So it literally looks like they go back to work the next day. I mean, the good part was like, I wasn't coming back to America for like another like 6 weeks or so. So like I had like the summer to like kind of grow it in.
After you get your 5 patches of hair, like literally just taken out, can you just shave your head and then so everything's even?
Yeah, I mean, I got my head shaved like a couple weeks later, but you're supposed to walk around. It's about, like people know, like especially in India, like they know, like this is like okay, this is this ceremony. This is why he looks like a,
Got you. Makes sense.
I don't know.
You don't look out of place there.
Yeah.
That shit was so head ass if you had it done here.
Yeah. Have you ever seen anyone do it here, Deech?
No, I've never seen anyone do it here. I mean, like, I think my family especially planned, my parents are very religious, like, and cultural. Like, they definitely planned for me and my brother to have ours done in India. Dude, but my brother, like, he's also, like, kind of like my dad, like, it's not needed to get your ears pierced, so he would never get his earrings. But he's been, like, this past summer, he started popping in, like, fake studs, like just walking around and like get a reaction out of my dad. And it's the funniest thing. He's like, don't do some shit like your brother. Like, look at him. He's screwing up his life. This is his. I don't know. He's just messing with them. He's like,
what was like the inspiration behind your earrings though? Like what kind of like,
dude, I just thought it looked so sick when like, kids in 7th grade had like diamond studs, like, and also,
I think that was mine too. Honestly, I just like the way they look. I'm like, yo, I'm trying to just feel myself. And like, I mean, yeah, when you get them, you do be feeling yourself.
World pushes you into a uniform, like when you're in an office place, why would you? I think it's a little whack to just accept it. You should have like some sort of like individuality in your style, and I don't know, the earrings are a cool addition.
Yeah, that's the main reason why I keep my like holes open is because like anytime I want to like change up my look.
Sorry.
Yo, KV, you got like giant hoops, right?
Yeah, I mean, so I used to when I first. Okay, so my experience was a little.
Yo, I was KV's inspiration. No cap.
You weren't. When did I ever say, yo, Harvey, you got earrings? Let me get them too, or some shit.
Bro, exactly. It's just subconsciously. I was the inspiration behind the tattoo the earrings.
You didn't even have your earrings. My tattoo was because of my grandpa. I had to explain the whole story.
Subconsciously.
No, but my experience was a little different because I feel like when I first got my earrings, I looked like a girl. Yeah, it was like it took me like a good 3 weeks to fucking adjust. I swear, like I had a beard. I looked fucking to me. I looked like sus as fuck. Yeah. Like,
When did you get them?
Probably about 3 years ago now.
Really? For some reason, I thought you always had them like in college too, or maybe
Shit,
you didn't have anything in college.
No,
Not
he's a
stuck?
late bloomer.
No, I didn't have anything in college. But I went from like diamonds to like the black diamond earrings, and then I went to the Punjabi earrings. I think they're called Nattiya or something. I forget the actual fucking name for them. They're basically hoops, fucking making me look like Aladdin and shit. Like that's how I envisioned myself.
I kind of wanted earrings, but like I don't know. I guess I just got to pull the trigger. My parents, they're not going to be happy with it, but like it's not up to them anymore. I know they're just going to be pissed for a little bit, then they're just going to accept it. But I don't know, like in the summer, because I was just stuck at home, I wanted something like spontaneous or something just like, you know, make the summer memorable because I was just stuck at home. But now like I'm moved and like, you know, I transitioned to a different chapter of my life. Like this whole, you know, topic that we're talking about, tattoos or piercings, it just like never even entered my thought. Like, I don't know. That's why I don't think I would ever want to get anything, because like I feel like half of this kind of stuff is like off whim, and then you kind of just tell yourself, oh, this is just like, you know, it meant to be. But I'm just not like the type of person. I feel like I need to be very sure about certain shit. Like I know, like thought about it for like X amount of time.
But your ears closed. Your ears closed. So like,
Yeah,
it's like if you don't
That's
like
true.
it,
That's true. Yeah, ears closed too. I didn't.
You have
think
like
about that.
nothing to lose to like get your ears pierced. Like literally, like if you don't like them, you take them out and they're gonna close. Like
So
True. I don't know why I'm thinking that's
$60 down the
permanent.
drain.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm thinking it's permanent. You're right. I don't know. I just haven't
tattoos,
even.
though.
Hell no, dude. I don't think. I don't think so. I first of all, like I don't think I have anything meaningful that I would want on my body for the world to see. Like if it's something for
I
me.
mean, you could put it in a spot where like it's just for you and nobody else gotta see it.
Yeah, no. I know. Then like, is it like when you just look at the reflection and that's it for you? Like I don't know. I
Yeah,
just
it's
don't.
like self-feel. I don't know. Like, I mean, every time I still like look at my tattoos, I'm like, yo, I still like, I dig them. But now it's kind of the point where like, it's not a big
part of
deal
you.
anymore. It's like, just
Yeah, it's just
becomes
part of
so common. Yeah. Like, yo, it's like, oh, damn, I got tattoos. Like, you just forget that you have them. Like, it's like, it really doesn't like make a big difference. Like, you think it's such a big deal. Like, yo, I'm doing something permanent in my body. But then now as like time progresses, it's like, it's really not a big deal. I think that's anything that's like a big like life, it's always the anticipation for something. And then once you reach that point and like you realize that there was the anticipation that was actually the fear the whole time. Will Smith like did like a crazy ass video about this shit, like jumping off a plane, and it's like always the anticipation of like, oh, like damn, I'm gonna jump off a plane, like I'm so scared, blah blah blah.
Bungee jumping.
And then
Yo,
like
I've listened to that speech so many times.
and then, yeah, when you actually like jump off the plane and like you're in the moment, like everything fucking just like disappears. There is no fear. It was only just all the events leading up to it. I think tattoos kind of like similar in that regard as well.
Lucky, you're just a fucking pussy, man.
That's true too. But I think I also like miss the like I'm definitely a pussy, but I also think
I'm sorry. I'm kidding. I'm joking.
no, I think there's actually like a time frame where like if you don't get your first tattoo, more often than not, I don't think you're going to get one down the road. I think from 18 or like maybe from 16 to 25, I feel like that's where like you are in this, I don't know, maybe I'm generalizing everyone or just like myself, because I'm in college, like everyone else was getting it, so I was considering it, but like I never was like to the point where I would do it. But now like that shit just doesn't even enter my mind, so I don't know if like I missed my chance to like get one. Obviously I can get one tomorrow if I wanted to, but like the initial thought of like getting tattoos don't even like enter my mind, and that's why I'm thinking like I missed my mark to get one.
Yo, Harvey,
Yeah.
you were talking about Will Smith and the bungee jump, right? With the helicopter.
It was the jumping out of a plane like speech he gives.
Oh yeah, but he did that over the Grand Canyon, right? Like that's what you're talking about, that one, the bungee jump.
No, he was just giving like an inspirational speech, and
But
like,
he definitely did something like that.
yeah, he
yeah,
did
for sure.
something. I don't know what he did, but
He
like,
bungee jumped off a helicopter over the Grand Canyon. He did that with like a couple YouTube guys called Yes Theory, and like they basically Yes Theory, they just do random shit like that's like open, like something like out of their comfort zone and shit. Like I've watched a couple of their videos, and they like randomly went to like different countries and shit, got tattoos with like random people too. Like random strangers, they're like, you want to get a tattoo? Like, would you ever get something like that, like spontaneously, randomly? Or does it have to mean something to you?
I mean, that's still meaning something. I have a friend, so like every time he goes to like a new location, like a new city, he gets a tattoo to like resemble that city or like resemble the memories. And
Dog, just tell him to buy a cup, like a mug.
I mean, they're nothing like big or like extravagant. Like they're pretty small, and he's not even like that tatted. I mean, he's definitely been a lot of places, but I mean, meaning is like what you make it at the end of the day. Like you can take anything. Like, I mean, when people ask me why I have more life, like I created a meaning behind it, right? Like, it's like, I mean, yeah, at the end of the day, like it just matters like what that meaning is to yourself, not really what that meaning is to anybody else. Like you shouldn't have to explain yourself, really.
Yo, Lucky, I think I'm the same boat as you. I mean, I'm not at 25 yet, but I feel like my window for getting tattoos is kind of closed. And if anything, it would have to be like completely symmetric. And I don't even know if there's like a reason that would just like change my whole mentality about them.
Mm-hmm. That's what I was saying. Like, Deech, you're very like, you're expressionist, like, through your art and everything. I don't think like I find tattoos like as a medium for my expression, or like if I want to express something. I don't know. That's just like not how I.
What about like tattoos on like other people, like the other sex? Like you find them? Is that a turn on for you, or is that a turn off?
I think it depends on the tattoo.
I'm indifferent. Yeah, unless it's some like head ass tattoo where there's just like, like they got something above their pelvic bone, which doesn't make any fucking sense. I don't like. It's kind of like going back to what you said. I think like if you can have a somewhat of a meaning, or if it's not like too, head ass, like I'm cool with this. I'm like indifferent with it. I mean, it's your body. Do whatever the fuck you want.
But it like doesn't change your like appearance about a person's like attractiveness.
I mean, if it's not like on their face or like anything visual, like, if you can cover it up, I don't think I care. But I think if it's like somewhat visual, it's kind of, maybe that's just like the conditioning the media has done to me like over time, where I think my first impression is like, shorty is wildin', bro. Like, like that's just like what I think of it. Obviously, like when you get to talk to person, like the personality definitely plays a bigger factor, but just like off like looks and appearances, you kind of put those types of people in a little like mental box before you even meet them. And like, obviously you shouldn't do that. Like you should be open-minded. You shouldn't put anyone in a box, but like you compartmentalize. That's just like how we are.
I mean, it's just that psychological programming that we like grew up with.
Yeah, what do you guys think about this? So I'm just like, this just popped in my head. So if you're, bringing home like your partner and they got tattoos, would you tell them to cover up for your families?
No.
And do you think that's wrong to do?
I think you got to ease into it. If it's my parents, I feel like you should cover it up so they get to know your personality first, and then you can slowly like take off the layers like an onion. I don't think like I'm the type of person where I'm just too calculated with my parents. So like maybe this doesn't apply to everyone, but I feel like you got to ease into it. You can't just be full frontal like, this is like, Do you guys know what I'm trying to say?
Well, like, I think my parents have like yet to ever confront me about my tattoos. Like they've definitely seen them like before.
Well, that's you though.
I know, but like JM,
someone they don't know.
JM has tattoos too, and like never like.
You never told your parents that you had tattoos?
No, like I mean, I never like straight up told them. Like, bro, like I went to the beach with them. Like they seen me like with my arms all out and all that. My bro got like next level tattoos. Like his are just wild and like they're just like so like fucking upfront and in your face. He got like her last name like stamped like on his freaking like forearm, and then he has brown boys like right here like on his forearm.
Tell him to add the Chronicles.
Tell him to send me a picture. We're gonna use it for this cover.
Honestly, I will actually.
Yeah, that's fire actually.
But like, my parents never like told me like, like when did you get that, or like where did you get that, or blah blah blah. I think they just kind of like absorbed it in. With my piercings, they actually like confronted me. They're like, yo, what are you doing, blah blah. But like at first, I was like pretty good about like covering them up, like when I would go home and whatnot. And then I think this was a matter of probably like 5-6 months later, and then we were on a beach trip. And at that point, like obviously shirts off, you're in the water and everything like that. And like they didn't say anything. The only person in my family that ever like said anything and like grabbed my arm was like my sister. She's like, yo, what the fuck? Like you got a tattoo and blah blah. But like it was like, so my parents had never confronted it. So I think even if that in that kind of situation, and I don't think my parents will ever like say anything to like JM either. Like I mean, I
think you did it right, because your first one was like, we all love Guru Granth Sahib, so they're not going to say anything about that. That's just
that's what I was thinking too, right?
Dude, like, then the next one, I forget what you said. Where are the coordinates again? It's
the coordinates, but they don't know what the coordinates mean. I don't think.
Yeah, you can. So you can kind of like
meaning though. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, the last one, they're probably like is a little head ass, but like since you already had it's like it's the majority still rules. So if your next one is head ass, then
I think if they see the next one and it's like gonna be big, then they'll probably be like, yo, like what are you doing? But like now my brother has already like broken that like barrier, because his is like just out here.
Yo, he cracks me up, dog. He's such a different personality from what you are.
Yo, Lucky and Deech, you guys said you would never like get tattoos. I saw like this TikTok where I think there's a shop opening in New York City where like it's a tattoo shop that the tattoo lasts for 1 year. I don't know what the technology is behind it, but like, would you ever consider one of those tattoos where it's 1 year and it just fades away naturally?
Yeah, but I feel like that would be a trick.
No, it's like
maybe it's just like the front.
No, it's like some new technology or something I saw on TikTok. I can like I'll send it to you.
There are some pretty long lasting tattoos already. Like they're pretty like you can get one that like lasts for like 3 months or like a couple like at least like 6 weeks or something like that.
Yeah, I would do weeks. I wouldn't do a fucking whole year. I feel like I'd rather do a week and then
a year's not that bad though.
A year's not that bad, especially if it's.
But this is for someone who doesn't even like tattoos, so I feel like I can't just.
Yeah, so you experiment with like 3 month one. Yo, did you ever do like the tongue tattoos like back like in like off the like fucking?
I did the fake tattoos.
Fruit roll up ones.
Oh yeah, I remember doing that. I did the fake ones too, where you put slab water on your arm and like it'll stick to you. Yeah. Those were busting in India, bro. I just maybe this is just like I like to, when I look at my body, I want to look clean. You know, when I look in the mirror, I just want to see like whatever my skin color is, like beige.
Not
like
with what would you say, hair, bro? Not with all the hair, bro.
Yo, I trim my legs now, so we chilling. And my upper body's always been good. So
I
like,
my wave.
Yeah. You did actually. You did. I just trimmed it this weekend when I was home. But sidebar. Anyways, but like when I like look at my body, like. I'm so used to like what I am, and maybe just because I missed that window, it'll just take so long for me to get used to seeing some ink on there, which I'm not even like sure I want, first of all, because I don't think I'm that confident to have something permanent, dog. I feel like I switch up every fucking couple of months with my mood. So like, it's just not like my
Yeah, I mean, some people it's not for them, which is like totally understandable. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that.
If you guys ever get a tattoo you regret, would you like get it laser removed or whatever?
Probably.
It's never gonna happen, dude. I'm terrified of needles.
That too.
Oh yeah, yo, like what's up with that situation? Like, yeah, how like
yo, that might be like just like I don't know if I'm just imagining this or like I don't think there's a medical.
Have you ever got like shots or like get your blood taken?
Yeah, I mean I got the vaccine. I'm not like it like and as a kid, I would always get the flu mist if I had the option. And my mom, she's like terribly afraid of like getting like blood work or anything. So someone always has to escort her or like drive her there because she faints. So I think maybe I like got that superpower just from her or whatever. And I'm like terribly paranoid of needles. So I mean, I guess it's kind of like a good thing, but also like,
being an artist, do you think you would be able to like give somebody else like a tattoo?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like the medium I'm most confident in is drawing. So I think my hand is still enough to give a tattoo.
Okay. Have you ever made like something with your pee in snow?
What?
Yeah, of course. Who hasn't?
I don't know. I just was thinking of that.
But Deech, like the medical like syringes or whatever, like the needles and shit are so different than like a tattoo needle. At least my experience, like I didn't feel that much pain.
Well, you also look like huge, man. Look at my arms, dude. Like I'm basically look like a stick figure.
Yeah, but like I mean, I don't mind needles and shit like that, but it's so different from like a syringe or whatever. People say it's just like it literally feels like just tiny pinches.
But it still like kind of hurts, and also depends on like how close you are to like bone and all that. Like yeah, the more fat you got your shit on like your legs, so you got all that like thigh meat. Like ooh, that shit is chilling. It
was my forearm.
Yeah, forearm doesn't really have like you have a lot of meat there, right? You don't have bone underneath. Like bone is like on.
Forearm there's not that much skin. Like my forearm was like decent like pain too, because it's just like it feels like a sharp needle just going up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, like really fast. So
it's just small like, pinches to me. It's not like a.
Yeah, it's like small pinches, honestly. But like, yeah, I mean, like if you get on like your rib cage and stuff, I heard the ankle is like really freaking painful.
Ankle and the hands, I heard. Yeah, there's so many nerve endings and shit, like all the extremities, like you've been saying.
Which ligaments are in there in the ankle, bro?
Also, at this point, I've already got earrings. I've got the long hair. I don't think I need to add one more, like body.
I think you do to complete the look.
I mean, that's what everybody expects, right? But I mean, why would I give them that? But also, like, I don't need to get like more lectures and shit. Every time I go home, someone in the house is like, "You should cut your hair. And you're shedding all over." Something. And I'm like, dude, at this point, I've had long hair for so many years.
Yo, long hair is honestly high maintenance. Like my bro got long hair too, man. And like if I'm sharing a shower with him, bro, it's just like me. I gotta shower first because I come in afterwards. There's just hair all over the place. And hairs for some reason, like especially hair like that in a bathroom, that shit kind of like grosses me out.
I recently looked back at mine and Lucky's pictures of long hair. We look like trash, bro.
No, what you mean, yo? I look so fucking good with my long.
Dude,
It's not.
yeah,
I don't think it was hard to
it.
manage. Mine just like naturally like fell down, and that's the vibe I was going for. But like trying to like style it, I feel like then yeah. But I fucked with my long hair.
Earlier we talked about like how we think tattoos on certain like the other opposite sex might like affect their appearance or whatnot. How about like piercings? Do you guys have an opinion on that? Like a certain piercings y'all find like,
Dude,
damn, that shit just like took like
too much. I can't do too much piercings. Like, you know, those fucking girls with the back piercings or the fucking like tongue piercing, all that shit's weird, bro. There's some piercings I just find completely weird.
tongue piercing. I don't mind tongue piercings, yo. I feel like tongue piercings go in like just like one little tongue piercing.
I don't know. That shit kind of seems so. Okay, piercings on certain like body parts are okay. Like nose, ears, I'm cool with. Belly button, I'm okay with too. Tongue seems so.
Yo, what about like genitalia piercings?
Yeah, those motherfuckers wild, bro. Like,
Yeah, I would never.
hell
Yeah,
no.
nah.
If I
That
ever
shit looks
see,
so gruesome, like just so.
Harvey, are you trying to tell us something?
No, most definitely not. Most definitely not.
I feel like I'm also okay with nipple piercings too. Nipple piercings.
Yo, chill.
No, I'm just saying, like,
Yo,
if I see a
chill,
nipple
chill.
piercing, like that's somewhat acceptable. Like, you know, it's not too out of there because you can.
Why is that? Why is that not too out there?
He just likes one.
No, you can't.
No, because you can cover that shit up unless you're not wearing a bra or some shit. But dead ass dog, like I'm cool. Like you're more accepting of nipple piercings, right? Like compared to like tongue or like lip.
I think the only reason why you're probably like more accepting of it because it's like sexualized.
that too. So it's like belly buttons, but I don't think I like.
Yeah, I
all
agree.
belly buttons.
I agree. I think that's why belly buttons are definitely like more attractive because they're like how they're perceived and like and how they're like shown is like, oh, like in a sexual manner. So like we make these associations. It's so crazy how like easily we can be manipulated. Like we're gonna just have like all these fucking like thoughts and shit like formatted in our heads. Like, oh, this is like we like this, we don't like this, just because like we're exposed to it like so many times just growing up and shit.
And now a quick word from our sponsors. Have you thought about starting a podcast but didn't know where to begin? If so, I'm here to tell you about this free tool called Anchor. Anchor allows you to create and edit your podcast from both your phone and the computer. On top of that, it distributes your podcast to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many other locations, so you don't have to do it manually yourself. And if you thought that wasn't enough, it also allows for monetization, so you can actually make money from your podcast. So download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. It's everything you need to make a podcast. Now let's get back to the show.
All right, thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of Brown Boy Chronicles. We are available on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Check us out on Instagram at The Brown Boy Chronicles, and feel free to email us with any questions or stories. The email is brownboychronicles1@gmail.com. See you next time.